Hello friends, welcome into the Cowboys Report presented by BetDSI, the internet's #1 sportsbook. I am your host, Tom Downey, back now with some more fan rumors from our subscribers over at the Cowboys Report YouTube channel. We'll start things off with Roberto Torres saying, do I think it's a good idea to re-sign Looney and put him at left guard when Frederick comes back? Well, yes and no here. Yes, he's actually under contract for the 2019 season, so that's not actually going to be an issue there. And Looney has played all over the interior of the offensive line. He can play left guard, he can play right guard, he can play center as well, as of course we've seen this year. So there's nothing wrong with giving him snaps at left guard and having him compete for a starting job. Here's the thing though. I think it's far more likely that Connor Williams is your starter at left guard next year because of a variety of reasons. Number one, you spent a second-round pick on the guy. You give him an offseason to get bigger and stronger. It's only going to make him better in theory, even though development isn't always linear and progressional. So you can let Looney compete with Xavier Su'a-Filo and Connor Williams, but I think it's far more likely that the more talented player, which is still Connor, becomes your starting left guard, and Looney remains your top swing back up there at center, left guard, and right guard. So who should start at left guard for the Cowboys in the 2019 season? I'll make this point all year long. I think it needs, and I think it will be, Connor Williams looking forward. All right, Bobby Gutierrez says, Cowboys cut Jeff Heath and replace him with Earl Thomas. Well, again, yes and no. There's some truth and some non-truthiness to this here. So I do expect the Cowboys to make a run at Earl Thomas. I'll actually be kind of surprised if they don't make a run at him, at least in some capacity, even though I think in the end they might and probably will end up getting outbid. But you don't actually need to cut Jeff Heath to sign Earl Thomas. Heath is still fairly cheap and remains an asset to the team. He's not the GOAT like some on Twitter say, and he's not the worst ever like some on Twitter say. In reality, he's an average NFL safety, maybe a low-end number 2 and a higher-end number 3. That's who I think Jeff Heath is. That's who I think he's always been. So you can bring in Earl Thomas, and then your safety grouping becomes E.T., becomes Xavier Woods, becomes Jeff Heath, and Kayvon Frazier. That's a really good safety core right there. All right, Shoe Monster 007, whose profile pic does indeed check out, says Scott Linehan has got to go. Time for that superb owl. I kid, I know he means Super Bowl. But I agree. Fire Scott Linehan. 4 stars on this one. He's got to go. I know that Garrett is loyal to Scott Linehan, but this offense clearly has issues. And the Cowboys need to fire Linehan this offseason. Otherwise, they're going to regress, because I think that's the reality of the NFL. I think the point totals are indicative of that based on the point differential and just the close games that they won. You need a coach with a more modern offense who will use Dak Prescott in the way he's supposed to be used. We heard all offseason long about the Dak-friendly offense. The offense was decidedly not Dak-friendly this year. Let's go get a coach who will actually do that. And Linehan, his response to the criticism was to dig his heels in and do more of the same. That's not going to get the job done. All right, folks, all of these fan rumors come from our subscribers over at our Dallas Cowboys Report YouTube channel, youtube.com/Dallas Cowboys Report. So if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe right now. You can get in on the show. If you're on Facebook, the link's right there for you, youtube.com/Dallas Cowboys Report. Plus, we'll have coverage all offseason long for you guys. Season's over, but we're not going anywhere. All right, from Basil Ahmed says, could Jerry Jones or someone else in the Cowboys organization overrule Garrett's decision to keep Linehan? Absolutely. And this is true for every NFL team. I saw some comments how, see, Garrett's a puppet for Jerry Jones, when Garrett himself said that Jones gets final say. No, that's how the NFL works. Jerry Jones is the owner. He gets to sign off on everything. If Jerry Jones says, Jason, you're not keeping Scott Linehan, I don't care what you want, he's not staying, then he's gone. It's that simple. And Jerry Jones, we'll listen to Stephen Jones and Will McClay and others, including Jason Garrett, and he trusts all those guys. I don't think the Joneses really want Scott Linehan. And I know you guys don't, right? So do you want Linehan fired? Type KS for keep Scott, FS for fire Scott. I want him gone. I know the vast majority of you do as well. I think there's still a chance you guys get your wish, and I certainly hope so. Otherwise, I don't feel great about this Cowboys team next year, just to be honest. All right, Kofrin Vish says Kris Richard as DC and Rod Marinelli as an assistant coach. Well, 4 stars on this one. We've mentioned this before. This is probably going to be the outcome. The Cowboys are not going to let Richard leave or interview elsewhere because the way the NFL works, you can block assistant coaches from interviewing for every job except for a head coach when it comes to a coaching role. So expect a title promotion for Kris Richard to the DC, although he already calls the plays, so what's honestly the main difference there? And a nice little pay raise as well. And by the way, Rod Marinelli, he is publicly on board with this. This was his quote from like a week ago. Says, I'll do whatever the Cowboys need to be done to keep Kris Richard. Doesn't care about the titles. He just wants to win games and make his players better. And Rod Marinelli is incredibly high on Kris Richard as a coach, by the way. So, I'm not worried about Kris Richard right now. The head coaching jobs, they've all been filled, officially or unofficially, i.e. waiting for guys that are still coaching the playoffs. But Marinelli, he's going to let Kris Richard be the defensive coordinator there for the Dallas Cowboys. So 4 stars on that one. All right, the Don 214, do you think we could trade for John Ross to replace Cole Beasley? I mean, you could. I'd be pretty stunned, though, if that ended up happening. So it's not a knock on Ross. And I think he'd be a great addition for the Dallas Cowboys. He'd bring you speed, dynamic ability from the slot, and even on the outside. I think Ross and Galvin Cooper can all play some slot and outside receiver. But would the Bengals actually trade him? I know he only caught 21 passes, but 7 of them did go for touchdowns, right? For whatever reason, the Bengals threw the ball in the red zone. I think it's far more likely the Cowboys draft a receiver instead than using I would assume it'd have to be at least your second, if not higher round pick on John Ross. Go get somebody and just, maybe even trade down and still take a receiver. So I don't think you'll see a John Ross trade because it takes 2 to tango. I don't think the Bengals want to move him right now. All right, folks, today's show is brought to you by BetDSI, the internet's #1 sportsbook. Head over to chatsports.com/bet. Use promo code Cowboys120 for a 120% deposit bonus. You put down $50, they're going to give you $60 for free. If you put down $100, they'll give you $100. $500 down gets you $600 in extra bunny money. Even if you're not that great, you're going to have plenty of extra money to bet with over on BetDSI. Chatsports.com/bet and use that promo code Cowboys120. All right, Matt S. kind of took out a bunch of different options I had here. Why are there so many dumb fans? Sign Bell, trade for Antonio Brown, trade Tyron and Sean Lee for Odell Beckham, fire Marinelli, sign Nick Foles. Those were some of the other fan rumors, and I agree with Matt to an extent here that those things aren't happening. I'll give this one 3 stars in total because, look, the Cowboys are not trading for Antonio Brown. The Giants sure as hell aren't trading Odell Beckham to the Cowboys. They're not going to sign Lev Bell or Nick Foles. I promise you guys these things. And I don't think you guys are dumb by any means. You're just being fans and asking about the big name players. That's how fandom almost always works out from my experience. So, Matt's right, though. These things are not going to happen. Antonio Brown, Odell Beckham, Lev Bell, Nick Foles, move on. Go focus on a safety or a defensive tackle. The Cowboys don't have the draft capital or the long-term cap space to afford Antonio Brown and Odell Beckham or OBJ and Amari Cooper. That's just not how the NFL works. It's not quite like Madden. All right, Brandon Taylor says, release Sean Lee, get back Anthony Hitchens so we can bench number 57. A lot to unpack here. I'm going to give it fake news, and here's why, Brandon. Anthony Hitchens had 135 tackles. That is deceptive because he actually wasn't that good this year for the Chiefs. Got beat a lot, had tackles, but tackles can be deceptive. Just because you're making tackles doesn't mean it's the right kind of tackle. I'd rather you get a 3-yard tackle than a 15-yard tackle, So that's the issue there. And oh, by the way, from just even beyond that perspective, why? He's going to cost a ton of money, and Damian Wilson plays like 18 snaps a game and is a free agent. There is no reason to let go of Sean Lee and then pay more in both money and draft capital to go trade back for Anthony Hitchens. Doesn't make any sense. So Hitchens, there is a negative 100% chance he comes back. It's never going to happen. All right, folks, go get yourself a Mizzen and Main shirt. They make me look passable on air, so just imagine what they can do for you. Comfortable.af is the site. You guys will not find a better shirt, dress, or even one of their sweaters either, than a Mizzen and Main one. All right, more Cowboys fan rumors. David G says Dallas used its 2nd-round pick and draft Antonio Brown's brother, Marquise Brown, as a replacement for Cole Beasley, who will leave in free agency. While I do think Cole Beasley is going to leave in free agency, I don't think Dallas will get Marquise Brown. Not that I don't like him. He's fast. He is a cousin of Antonio Brown. Well, I just want to make that clear. He is the cousin of AB, not the brother. But he has elite speed, made a lot of big plays at Oklahoma. I don't think he's going to fall to late round 2 for the Cowboys. I think he'll be off the board within the top 40 picks, and I don't think the Cowboys are going to go trade up to get him. Now, there are some size concerns, although he did bulk up beyond his listed weight at Oklahoma. But the junior from Hollywood, Florida, look, he was really good this year. So Marquise Brown, I don't think you have to worry too much about him going forward. I just don't think he's going to be on the board in the end for the Dallas Cowboys. All right, so some more rumors here. Should the Cowboys draft another running back? And this one's from Michael Caldwell. I think we kind of glanced over his question. That's okay. Not a big deal there. Says, really just asks, should the Dallas draft a change of pace back and get a complimentary back? Well, I think absolutely, Michael. There are 4 stars, as you guys just saw there. The Cowboys need more running back depth. Rod Smith is a free agent, too. We went over my team need just a little bit ago, or yesterday, I should say, and you need another back. It's not a top need, but I love the idea of getting a speedy, change of pace, scat back type. Think maybe a better version of Lance Dunbar. Guys remember him before he got hurt with the Rams? I think it makes sense. So 4 stars on that one. If I'm the Cowboys, go get a halfback at some point this year. Trevor Lloyd, is this the offseason that the Cowboys finally invest heavily at defensive tackle? I hope so. I do guess it depends on how you define heavily. Do you mean like multiple additions? Because if not, probably not. But second or third round pick, I do think that happens this year for the Dallas Cowboys. It's been a need for a while, and the Cowboys, frankly, got lucky with Antoine Woods. If they didn't land Woods, that defensive line would have been awful in the interior, I think, for a good portion of the year. Now, it's a really good defensive tackle draft class. You can get a good one this year early on. You can get a strong player. You can get even just a Gerald type guy in round 2, Gerald Willis out of Miami. There are talented DTs that will be on the board there. David Irving, I assume he's gone. That leaves you 3.5, I guess, for Tyrone Crawford there at DT. Go sign an early round pick, and heck, you know what? Why not spend a late round pick too? Why don't you double dip at DT? So what is the Cowboys' biggest offseason team need? For me, it's defensive line. I'll factor in DT and the pending free agency of DeMarcus Lawrence into one there. Once Tank is re-signed or tagged, one of those two, it becomes receiver or defensive tackle. So folks, let me know what you guys think in the comment section, and then go check out our Cowboys Report channel, youtube.com/Dallas Cowboys Report. We have a team needs video already up there, so go check it out, a full in-depth breakdown. Plus, we'll have more news, rumors, free agency, and NFL draft coverage all offseason long, so go check it out at youtube.com/Dallas Cowboys Report. Hey Cowboys fans, thanks for watching the Cowboys Report. If you haven't already, click right here to subscribe to our channel for all the best Cowboys coverage on the internet. That's news, rumors, highlights, mailbags, film studies, and a whole lot more. And I'm making your lives a little bit easier as well with the next Cowboys Report video right here.